Right from the get-go, the film kicks off with an intense operation. A top-notch team of elite soldiers, chosen for their skills and loyalty, is on a mission to transport a super valuable and dangerous package to a secret, heavily protected location. This isn't just any random item. What's inside could totally change the global power dynamics. Whether it's cutting-edge tech, classified military info, or something more sinister, if it falls into the wrong hands, the fallout could be disastrous. The secrets the parcel holds could throw global relations into a tailspin. For India, the stakes are even higher. Losing this package could create serious turmoil and leave the nation exposed to threats from powerful enemies. As they get closer to their destination, the tension only ramps up. The weight of their responsibility is heavy, and they know one small mistake could spell disaster for India and beyond. So what exactly is in this parcel? We'll find that out shortly. While the soldiers are transporting this valuable parcel to a safe location, their squad comes under attack. A bunch of incoming missiles block all the routes, leaving the soldiers completely trapped, and they can't handle the situation. Then, a huge masked man makes his entrance and seizes the parcel for himself. Since it's incredibly valuable, he leaves a message for the Indian government. But it's more of a warning than a message. This masked man warns the government that if they can't catch him within 3 days, he will destroy the entire country. Now, the Indian government has a huge problem on its hands because that parcel is so valuable that if they don't get it back, the entire world could be in danger. The responsibility of retrieving the parcel falls entirely on Colonel Azad, but he's feeling stuck and unsure of what to do. The only names that keep popping into his mind are Rakesh and Firoz, who the world knows as Rocky and Freddy. However, 7 years ago, both of them were court-martialed. We'll find out the reason behind that in a bit. But Colonel Azad knows one thing for sure. If anyone can handle this job, it's Rocky and Freddy. So he starts telling Misha about a mission involving them. He explains that 7 years ago, they were sent on a mission where some people had taken hostages. The enemies had hundreds of weapons, but all they had were Rocky and Freddy. Under the cover of night, the two of them bravely completed the mission, taking out the bad guys and safely rescuing the hostages. But Colonel Azad knows one thing for sure. If anyone can handle this job, it's Rocky and Freddy. So, he starts telling Misha about a mission involving them. He explains that 7 years ago, they were sent on a mission where some people had taken hostages. The enemies had hundreds of weapons, but all they had were Rocky and Freddy. Under the cover of night, the two of them bravely completed the mission, taking out the bad guys and safely rescuing the hostages. Then, the story jumps to the present, where Misha is now responsible for bringing back Firoz and Rakesh to the team. First, she heads to Rocky. At first, he refuses, but eventually agrees. However, he knows that Firoz isn't going to be on board. Rocky mentions that Freddy has a huge attitude and is definitely not going to agree to the mission. After their court-martial, Rocky started working in the fire department, while Freddy ended up at a tech company. So, Misha and Rocky go to meet Freddy, but he flat-out refuses to help them. He's still upset about being dishonorably discharged from the army and feels humiliated. Rocky tells Freddy that even though they were court-martialed and kicked out of the army, the country needs them now. But Freddy stands his ground and insists he won't join them. So Rocky and Misha decide to take on the mission themselves and head to London, knowing that the valuable parcel has ended up there. Once in London, they meet a brilliant hacker named Pam, who's super smart. Misha sets up a small team in London, getting help from some of Pam's people. Rocky and the team start planning, and they discover that there's a tunnel under the metro where the parcel is stored in a vault. However, the security there is so tight that no one can get in. Despite that, they come up with a solid plan and figure out a way to reach the vault. Rocky somehow makes it to the vault and starts fighting a bunch of villains. He takes out almost all of them, but eventually, he gets caught. Just when they're about to kill him, Freddy makes his dramatic entrance and starts taking out everyone. Thanks to him, Rocky's team is saved. After that, They all rush into the vault, and to their surprise, they find out that the precious parcel isn't what they expected at all. Instead of some valuable item, it's actually a woman named Priya. Priya, the woman in the vault, is someone Rocky and Freddy already know. In fact, Freddy was engaged to her before the court martial, but that engagement fell apart. Priya explains how she ended up as the parcel. She reveals that they created a protective shield for India, ensuring that no country could attack them. If anyone tried to launch a missile, it would explode outside before reaching them. The tricky part was figuring out how to store the password for this shield, as no hard drive was secure enough to prevent hacking. So, they came up with a plan to implant the password in someone's brain, and that someone was Priya. That's why the masked man's crew kidnapped her. However, Freddy soon realizes that there's more to the plan. The villain wanted Rocky and him to come to the vault, which is why they didn't remove the tracking device from the parcel. Freddy watches the masked man on the camera and warns him that they're not scared and that they've arrived just as he expected. Freddy is aware that an attack is imminent, and as the masked man watches the entire situation unfold, Freddy decides to leave before the attack happens. However, several cars start chasing them. Luckily, Pam, Misha, and Priya manage to escape safely, allowing them to regroup and prepare to fight against the villains. Freddy and Rocky join forces to battle the attackers, taking down numerous adversaries. However, despite their efforts, they eventually get captured by the masked man's goons. The situation escalates as the masked man confronts them, standing before them with a knife at the ready, indicating that the final showdown is about to begin. The masked man reveals that often the enemy is an old friend, and then Kabir's face is unveiled. Freddy and Rocky are shocked to see him, as they already know him, and Kabir recognizes them too. The story shifts back 7 years, where Kabir was also part of the Indian military forces. He had been working on creating advanced AI clones. Kabir's goal was to ensure that no soldier would have to sacrifice their life in battle. In the event of a soldier's death, a clone would take their place. He aimed to develop high-tech clones that could be controlled and made even more powerful by programming specific traits into their minds. Kabir's ambitious project sought to revolutionize the military by minimizing casualties while maximizing efficiency and strength. Freddy and Rocky strongly oppose Kabir's plans. When a vote is held regarding his project, both vote against him, leading to Kabir's disgrace and subsequent expulsion from the military. The Indian government completely rejects his cloning initiative, which had taken him 15 years of hard work. Enraged, Kabir decides to mobilize his entire team to sell the cloning technology to countries that are enemies of India. However, the Indian government catches wind of Kabir's plans. As a result, they send Freddy and Rocky to launch an attack on his hideout to prevent him from carrying out his intentions. This sets the stage for a confrontation, as the stakes rise with the potential threat that Kabir's clones could pose to national security. Freddy and Rocky arrive at Kabir's hideout and start eliminating his henchmen. In a climactic confrontation, they ultimately kill Kabir, who was attempting to negotiate with them. However, the Indian government had specifically instructed them to capture Kabir alive. Due to their failure to comply with these orders, both Freddy and Rocky face severe consequences. They are court-martialed and dishonorably discharged from the army, marking a significant fall from grace for the once respected soldiers. This incident sets the stage for the subsequent events in the story, leading to their current situation and the mission that lies ahead. As soon as the story ends and we return to the present, the two guys ask Kabir how he survived since they thought they had killed him. Kabir explains that he had actually made a body clone. When they attacked him, he activated the clone and escaped. So the one they killed was just his clone. But Kabir also tells them that it took him 15 years to make that clone, and he saw it as his child, even naming it Eklavya. He adds that they killed it mercilessly, and now he won't spare them or their country, India. After this, Kabir brings Colonel Azad into the picture, revealing that he had captured him. Then, Right there, Kabir kills Colonel Azad and introduces his other masked companions. When they all remove their masks, it's revealed that the three masked men were actually clones of Freddy, Rocky, and Colonel Azad. Kabir tells everyone that he's going to take these three clones to India, deactivate the Karan Kavach, and use them to attack Pakistan and China. In response, those two countries will unite and attack India, leading to its complete destruction. Since India would have attacked first, the United Nations would impose sanctions on India, leaving it with no one to save them. After saying all this, Kabir takes Sonakshi Sinha and his three clones and heads towards India. But before leaving, he sets fire to the area to burn everyone alive. However, we see Freddy and Rocky manage to free themselves from the chains and save their entire team from the flames. They quickly make their way to India and inform the army general and high command members about Kabir's plans. Now it's up to Freddy and Rocky to stop Kabir. They team up with Captain Misha and Pam to get ready. Just then, Kabir attacks the Karan Kavach base with his three clones and Sonakshi, knowing that's where Karan Kavach can be activated. Once there, he takes out all the soldiers and connects Sonakshi's mind to the system to deactivate Karan Kavach. Just then, without wasting any time, Freddy and Rocky headed straight to Kabir's hideout. One by one, they started taking out his troops, even though Kabir had a massive army. But together, Rocky and Freddy were focused on taking down Kabir's forces. In the end, they faced off against powerful clones that looked just like them. No matter how hard Freddy and Rocky hit them, the clones just wouldn't go down. So, the duo came up with a plan and lured the clones to a large transmitter. They set off a massive explosion, which destroyed the chips inside the clones, leading to their defeat. After that, Freddy and Rocky enter the base, only to find out that Kabir has already deactivated Karan Kavach. As a result, he launches a missile attack, and soon, a whole bunch of missiles are fired off towards Pakistan and China, targeting various locations. Seeing this, Freddy and Rocky confront Kabir, and after a tough fight, manage to take him down. They also save Sonakshi in the process. Now that the missiles have been launched, they realize that to stop the war, they need to reactivate Karan Kavach. Once it's activated, security layers will be in place at the borders. So when the missiles hit, they'll be destroyed before reaching India. However, when they try to make the necessary changes, they discover that Kabir has changed the password. Initially, they're pretty frustrated, but then they figure Kabir must have set the password to Eklavya because he cared for that clone so much. As soon as they enter Eklavya, they gain access to Karan Kavach and activate it. Consequently, all the missiles blow up at India's borders, preventing a major war from breaking out. In the next scene, we see that Freddy and Rocky are honored and recognized by the Indian Army for their bravery, and everything seems to be back to normal. However, as the movie wraps up, we find out that when they thought they had defeated Kabir, he was actually still alive. In the last scene, Kabir opens his eyes, and just as he does, the movie ends. This hints at a potential sequel. So folks, first there's the mission to attack the parcel, then Freddy and Rocky take on their Bade Miyan Chote Miyan roles, and finally, the mission to reach the parcel. Everything moves super fast. Even the film's heroine, Captain Misha, and genius technician Pam had to deliver their dialogues without taking a breath. The real story kicks off in the second half when the sci-fi twist comes in, and we find out who the ruthless masked man Kabir is, and why he wants revenge on the country. The film touches on topics like AI, cloning, and advanced security tech, but it's clear there's a lack of research, making the whole thing feel pretty flimsy. Ali Abbas Zafar aimed to make the film grand for an Eid release, giving it a larger-than-life cinematic experience, but couldn't really bring anything fresh to the table. The action scenes are things we've already seen before. Talking about performances, Akshay Kumar sticks to his usual style, while Tiger Shroff impresses with his comic timing. Manushi Chiller gets some good action scenes, but she could work on her expressions. Prithviraj Sukumaran really shines in his negative role, overshadowing others. The chemistry between Akshay and Tiger has its fun moments, but overall, nothing groundbreaking. If the filmmakers were confident in their work, they shouldn't have compromised on the length. The climax rushes by so quickly that it doesn't leave an impact. After a one-line monologue, the credits roll, and people start leaving the theater without even noticing the post-credit songs added by the makers. To sum it up, Bade Miyan Chote Miyan had star power, but the script lacked twists and turns that could have made it more exciting. The heavy use of technical jargon felt forced, and the themes felt outdated. Overall, it seems like this film is better suited for a most boring big-budget movie contest. With that, this film comes to an end. I hope you liked the video. If you did, give it a like, and for more such videos, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Stay tuned for fresh and exciting content. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching.